Hello everyone. Today we will be giving some tips for applying to architecture jobs as a student. Many of us have heard some expressions like the VOB, HOAI Leistungsphase, Ausschreibung, and Dienst für sieben in the job description when we try to apply to jobs. So we will just try to explain what are these like in an overview. Of course, there is a lot of details, and every part of this needs a separate video. But we will just try to explain what is every part about. We are XLab. We are company who are helping students to get student job uh, as an architects. Um, we apply for the students and we give them um, like suggestions what they can do in their CV or portfolio to get the interviews. So let's start first with VOB. What is VOB? VOB is stands for the Vergabe und Vertragsordnung für Bauleistungen. You can think about the VOB like the German code for building, like the American code or the British code. So it's divided actually in three parts. In part A, B, C. In part A, there is tender rules, how contracts are awarded, and rules for public tenders. So let's give a quick example. If the city of Frankfurt wants to build a new school, the VOB Part A sets the rule for how construction companies can submit offers and how the city selects the best one. This is a quick example. There is a lot of other things in Part A, but now we are giving a quick overview so you can understand what is this about. Part B, it's about the contract rules. What happens if the contractor delays or makes a defect? So let's stick also with the example of the school. Now, the city hired a company to build this new school. The VOB Tile B, it regulates how the work must be done, how payments are and deadlines are handled, and what happens if there are defects or delays. And then we have VOB Part C. It contains the technical requirement and standards for construction work based on the D norms for each trade. The D norms, we will get to this later in more detailed explanation about what is Dean actually. So also with the example of the school, let's say now everything is set and the company now started to build this school. When a company builds this school, the VOB Tile C, it defines how walls, floors, or roofs must be constructed and measured for the BOQ, so the work meets the uniform technical standards. And here I want to give a little example. I mean, the VOB part ABC is a big book, is very extensive, and no one in Germany knows all things in the VOB part ABC. So what is important for you is just to know how to get information that you need. So here, that's example. There is a book here. You will find it in the um, I will put it. You can find it in the description, or I will put it in the Google Cloud, so you can download it and see. This book is VOB in build. This actually is explanation for the VOB because the VOB is written in technical language and some there is actually more than one book that explains the VOB in pictures. So let's get to this example. Um, it's better to know first how the VOB actually is structured. It's structured according to the type of work. So uh, let's see here, for example, is the Erdarbeiten, Mauerarbeiten, Betonarbeiten. And if we go here to Mauerarbeiten, this is the brick holes, and we go to the part here, how to measure the quantities for the brick holes. So we will stick with this little example. We'll stick with this little example here, which is the page I extracted here. Here, what does it says? It says that the if you have a wall, and this wall there is an opening in it. This opening can be a window or can be any other type of openings. But if there is an opening and this opening is less than 2.5 square meter, then this area of the opening will not be deducted from the area of the wall. Let's say an example. Let's say this wall is 15 square meter, okay, and this opening is, let's say, 1.5 square meter. So normally what the people would do, that I will subtract the 1.5 minus the 15. But what happened, according to the VOB, that it says no, if the opening is smaller than 2.5, then we don't subtract it. And here, the point here, what it's explaining here is how do I measure the area of the opening. If the opening here, you can see this window is not uniform. So how do I measure it? Actually, I have here a width and here I have a height. So it says here you take it from the smallest length. So I can measure from here or from here. The VOB tells you to take it from the smallest length. This is how, when you are in office and he tells you, we want to do the uh, Ermittlung nach VOB, so you have to understand these rules. And this is just a small example. There is rules for every art of work, and you have to understand that, of course, there are softwares now that do this automatically. If you will work with RibI2 or Orca or softwares like this, but I think, yeah, you have to understand the basics, how the costs, how the quantities are determined. And now we speak about the Hawaii. So, what is the HOAI? The HOAI is the official fee regulation in Germany that defines how architects and engineers are paid for their planning and supervision services. We will also go through this just to know what is this about in generally. And of course, I will leave material when you want to get deeper in this topic. But you have to know generally there is like zones, and this zones is according to the complexity of the project. You will get the fees, and after determining which zone, there is other ways also to determine the zone of your building according to the structural requirements, the technical requirements of every project. And then there is here this table after determining the zone and the cost of the project. Let's say here the cost is 5 million and you are in zone 3, so your fees will be between this number and this number. That's generally, like in a nutshell, what is Hawaii about, and it also determines which percentage of the fees you get. This is according to in which Leistungsphase you are working, and the Leistungsphase we will explain about it, what is actually the Leistungsphase. But for now, let's just say it's the stages of the project. So let's say you will be involved only in the design stage. Let's say it's from 1 to 4. So you will get the sum of these numbers. You will get the 6, 11, 7, 3. You will get this number. Let's say you will only be involved in the construction, so you will get 31% of this fees that um, you are you have calculated. So let's go to Leistungsphasen. What are actually Leistungsphasen? It's the stages of the project. From 1 to 9, it's regulated in Germany. But if you are familiar with projects you worked in any most other countries, you'll probably be familiar with this naming: the concept design, develop design, technical design, construction handover, and so on. So this is how in most other countries the naming is, and in Germany this is how the stages are named. So if we go to here, we have the Leistungsphase 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the phase of the initial design. So you start with setting what is the requirements for the project, and you start with the design and the developed design, and then the Genehmigungsplanung. This is to get authorities, acceptance from the authorities, and then the Ausführungsplanung is the execution drawing, and then the Vorbereitung der Vergabe, Mitwirkung bei der Vergabe is how the tendering process, that now the project is ready to be constructed and you want to get offers from different construction companies, and to determine which one is the best. And Leistungsphase 8 here is the actual construction process, and Leistungsphase 9, the object behind this is the phase of the facility management or the building operation. So now let's talk about the DIN 277 and 276. The DIN 276 is a German standard used for structuring and managing the construction costs. It was developed by the German Institute for Standardization, also known as Deutsches Institut für Normung. This is the DIN, this DIN. And what does this DIN actually do? This standard provides a consistent framework for estimating and controlling and documenting costs through all the project phases, from the very first idea to the building's completion. So if we look here, the latest version of the DIN 276, it divides all the construction related costs into 8 main groups, um, numbered here from 100 to 800, and let's go through them step by step. What are they actually? So first one, Grundstück. This is the land, uh, cost group 100. This includes all the costs related to purchasing the plot of land, such as the buying price or the land taxes or the legal fees. Coast Group 200, this is the Herstellen und Erschließen. This is the site preparation and development. Here we include everything needed just to make the land ready for construction. The clearing, the demolition, the excavation, this is all included in the 200. In the 300, the Bauwerk, Baukonstruktion, um, which is the building construction. This group covers the structural parts of the building, foundations, walls, floors, and roofs, and the overall building shell. It's basically the physical structure of the building. And then we go to the 400, which is the technische Anlagen, the Bauwerktechnische Anlagen. This is the technical systems. These are the building services like heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and plumbing. And Kostengruppe 500, this is the Außenanlage. This is the outdoor facilities. This group covers landscaping, outdoor lighting, pathway, fences, and parking spaces. Everything that's built outside the main building. And 600, the Ausstattung und Kunstwerke. This is the furnishing and equipment. This includes fixed and movable equipment, the like built-in furniture and any special installations like kitchen or laboratory setups. And 700, this is the Baunebenkosten. Here we include design and consulting fees, permits, project management, insurance, and administrative costs. And then in the 800, the financial costs, the Finanzierung. This last group is for the financial expenses such as the interest, financing fees, or other project-related financial charges during construction. Um, by dividing all the project expenses into these 8 groups, the DIN 276 makes it easier for architects and engineers and clients to communicate clearly about costs. It ensures that all the parties are working with the same structure, which improves transparency, budgeting accuracy, and cost control across all the phases of the project. So let's get to the next point, the Ausschreibung. What is the Ausschreibung? Ausschreibung is the tendering process in which construction on, or planning services are publicly or privately advertised so companies can submit offers. Um, what does this actually mean and when does this happen? This comes in, if we return to this graphic in the Leistungsphase 6, here the tendering process happen after the company or the architect have finished all the design process. Here comes the part when, yeah, we will now prepare the BOQs so we can send it to multiple um, uh, companies and we get the best offer. So in this process, we create the BOQs, or in German the LVs. And here is an example of an LV, which is Leistungsverzeichnis, that is yeah, the BOQ in German. And here it's talking about the brick walls. Here are the different items that are included, and as you see here, uh, it includes the quantities, and here is the prices are to be filled by the construction company. And yeah, and then we collect all the multiple offers with the different prices, and then we decide which one we are going to accept. So here, this is a description for uh, a brick wall, and this description, this is also regulated. There is STLB text. These are like standard text systems so that you can describe the different items. The idea behind that was that the people wanted that by the creation of BOQ that we make like a uniform system, not that everyone can write the items according to what he wants. No, but we want like a unified system so that it's easy to understand and yeah, readable by all companies. So now I'll explain the different stages of cost determination according to DIN 276. The DIN 276, it provides a clear structure for this process, um, moving from rough estimates to precise calculations. And let's go through each stage briefly. We have the Kostenrahmen, Kostenschätzung, Kostenberechnung, Kostenanschlags, and Kostenfeststellung. And you can see here in this graphic, these are the cost stages and in which Leistungsphase does everyone take place. So back here to this point. So the first stage we have is the Kostenrahmen. This is created at the very beginning of a project, often before the design phase, and it's often based on the cost of similar projects. And how do you get the cost of similar projects? You can use the BKI. This is an information bank for the cost of a very wide range of buildings in Germany, and you can use it to get the prices of similar projects. This is also can be done in a separate video because there is a lot of details in it. So the cost and ramen, this gives a rough overview of the total project budget. Then we go to the second stage, that is the Kostenschätzung. This is prepared during Leistungsphase 2, and here the costs are broken down to a second level, which means that if we have here the costs are 300, in the Kostenschätzung we will have 310 and 320 and 330. That is the second level. So we have first level, this is the first level, only the 100, 200, 300, and then the second level, 310, 320, 330. And then we also have a third level, this will be in the Kostenberechnung, it will be 311, 312. Um, this is all not, you can find it a little bit confusing at the beginning, but it's not a big deal when you see a couple of projects that are done and structured according to um, the, the DIN 276. So the Kosten Schätzung, as we said, it's the costs are broken in the second level, the 310 and 320, and this gives a more accurate but still approximate idea of the total costs. And the third stage is the Kostenberechnung. This is part in the Leistungsphase 2, the we can say the design development phase, and it's based on the third level, the one as we've said, the 311, 312, 331, 332. At this stage, the costs are calculated in detail using actual design data and quantities. The fourth stage is the cost estimate before execution. That is the Kostenanschlag. According to DIN 276, this also follows the third level. It takes into account technical and construction related details. So it's usually based on contractors' offers or tender results. So as you can see here, as we go further, the level of details increases. So here the cost in ramen, it's based on similar projects, and here as we go through the design process and we have more detailed plans, we get the costs of it. So the fourth stage is as we said, the Kostenanschlag, and then finally we have the Kostenfeststellung, sorry, and this is the cost determination, and this is done at the end of the project, comparing the actual costs with the previous estimates. According to DIN 276, it should be prepared also to the third level and often follows the same structure as the cost estimate used earlier. So in summary, each stage from the cost framework to the final cost determination add more detail and accuracy, ensuring a transparent cost management through the entire project. Um, so let's here go to the final part. Here is the DIN 277. This is the German standard for measuring and calculating building areas, floor spaces, and volumes in construction projects. It provides a uniform method for determining how building areas are defined or documented, whether it's for a new building, an extension, or a renovation. So, why is this important? Uh, because actually, in architecture, the area measurements affect almost everything from cost estimate, space planning to rent calculation and comparisons between different design options. Um, Without a common standard like the DIN 277, every project participant might calculate floor areas differently, which will lead to confusion and errors in planning, budgeting, and communication. So, if we look here at this graphic, this actually describe there is a lot of of graphic and internet, but this graphic, I think it's the most clear one because here it describes how the areas are um, calculated. So here we start with BGF. This is the Bruttogrundfläche, and then this is divided into Netraumfläche and Konstruktionsgrundfläche. And here, if you look at this plan, this is marked with the colors. So here, if you look at here, this is the kitchen here. This belongs to Nutzungsfläche, and the green part here, which is the walls, this belongs to the Konstruktionsfläche. So the most important categories that we can look at are, yeah, the Nutzungsfläche. This is, we can say, the usable area, the space that directly serve the building's purpose, like classroom, office, or apartment or kitchen. Now we come to the last part, which is the DIN 277. DIN 277 is the German standard for calculating and classifying building areas and volumes. It defines exactly how to measure spaces in building so that architects, engineers, and clients can all work with the same area definitions. This standard is essential for cost estimation and space planning. So let's take a look at this graphic. There is a lot of graphics out on the internet, but this one I find is the most clear one to show you the structure of how to calculate the areas. So we start first with the Bruttogrundfläche. This is the total area measured along the outer walls of all floors. It includes every part of the building, even the walls and the shaft. So this is the Bruttogrundfläche. This is in the pink color. And then we have the Nettoraumfläche, or the net room area. That's the usable interior room after subtracting the space taken by walls, columns, and structure elements. Next is the Konstruktionsgrundfläche. This is the construction area. It represents parts of the building occupied by structures such as walls, columns, and shafts. And in the Nettoraumfläche, it's also divided into three subcategories. So when you have a look here, the Küche here, it belongs to the Nutzungsfläche, the Wohnen also the Nutzungsfläche, and the floor here, it belongs to the Verkehrsfläche. So what are these three categories? The Nutzungsfläche is the usable area, for example, the classrooms, offices, living rooms, kitchen. The technische Funktionsfläche, or the technical area, those are spaces for technical systems such as machine rooms or service rooms spaces. When you have a look here, here is the Heizungsraum. This belongs to the Technikfläche. And lastly is the Verkehrsfläche, or the circulation area. This spaces that actually that enables movement like corridors, lobbies, and staircases. So if you want to apply to an architecture student job through us, it's simple. You will fill in this form. I will leave the link for it in the description. You will fill in here your name, your email. You can work 40 or 20 hours per week. In which federal states can you work? You can work in whole Germany, and we will apply for you in the whole country. Or you want, you can work in a specific states. This is up to you. And something that's very important for us is what's your strength is. It's in the Entwurf or Ausführungsplanung or Bauleitung. Of course, also you can choose multiple, or if you have another um, strong point that you have, you can write it here, and that's important for us because we will adjust your Anschreiben that we send accordingly. And here you can upload your CV and portfolio. And finally, here you can write any additional information you think we should consider when sending to you. If you have um, any notes you want to tell us, um, it's also very important for us that we hear all what you want to say, because we will send on behalf of you, and it's very important for us that we know that we we have to understand your potentials, because we will do every application. It will be a unique application. We just don't, yeah, okay, we get 5 applications and we send it. So that's why we tried, okay, we also want to make it easy for people, and don't want people, because some people don't want, okay, I don't want to write or something like this. So if someone is in a hurry, I don't know, we try to here to just get information, to get to know the people better, because some things it's not written in your application. For example, your your Kenntnisse in HOAI or VOB, sometimes you cannot write it or you cannot show it, but we want to know if you know this, because this will affect how we will write this Anschreiben for your application. Yeah, and thank you for listening.